Hi everybody, this is Diane. I have had a marathon ephemera making day today. I'm working on some ephemera pieces for a specific bundle that I'm going to be putting in my shop. So these ephemera pieces are going along with that bundle. And you'll see a lot of roosters in these pieces of ephemera. So I have 4 different things. I'm going to try to get to them. I have a lot of the things prepped, so hopefully I can get them all in this one video. The first one is with this Stampin' Up! Set, Home to Rest, or Home to Roost, and I just used the rooster out of it. So I'm making quite a few of each, like 8 pieces of each ephemera style that I'm doing. So I have 4 reds and 4 blues. Well, actually I'm only doing 6 of these because I only made 6 background pieces by mistake, but that's okay because I'm only putting 6 of these bundles in the shop. I was making extras for myself. So this is the finished product. There's a blue one, there's a red one, and these can be a journal card or a pocket or tuck spot, or even a cover decoration, whatever you'd like to do with so sorry. Whatever you'd like to do with them, and I'm going to show you how I did them. So I have these 4 done, and let's see. I started with the background, so I just took a piece of white cardstock, and I have this checkered embossing folder. So I rubbed it with red ink or blue ink, and then embossed. And it gives you the color on the card. So that's the background piece. And I also embossed my rooster in either red or blue. And backed it with a piece of cardstock in a coordinating color and cut it with my decal edge scissors and sewed it. So I have this piece here. And so I guess that's what I'm going to do now. Do I have a piece already cut? I do not. That's because I didn't cut them ahead of time. This is my red embossing powder I was holding in my hand for some reason. So I'm just going to put a little glue in the center because I'm going to sew around it, but I won't do that on camera. I want to give it a wide enough border so that I can cut it with my decal edge scissors. I'll just trim pretty close to my square. I've had these scissors for many years. They're Fiskars. Okay, so that part's done. I also took a piece of this thin craft colored paper and stamped a Crackle background stamp. I thought I had it here to show you, but it looks like this. I peeled it, I took it off my wood block like I did this one, but it's got a Crackle design on it, and this is the block stamped twice right there. I think this piece right here is big enough for what I need, so I'll just tear it. And this one is a red one, so we'll take that, and I'm going to just trim this. And I don't want it to be this wide, so I'm going to just trim off 1 row of squares. And when I assemble it, I'll assemble it like that. So I'm going to sew around this before I glue it down. But I can glue this part down. Just use a glue stick. And after I sew that down, or sew this piece together, and then I will glue it to this. I will add some brads. You see I have some brads on here. I had some blue brads, but I didn't have any red ones, so I just used some. They're kind of a bronze or copper. Looking for my little pokey tool. Here it is. So I just take this. This is what I usually use to make holes for sewing in my signatures. I'll just poke a little hole in there. Try to get it straight. It's not straight. And here, got this little container of little brads, and I'll have to take that off when I go to sew it on, but I just wanted you to see it. So I'll just put the brads in there, and then I will take a piece of this twine that I got in a Happy Mail from someone. Thank you. And I'll make a little bow with it. And I'll cut the ends off the bow there and just glue that up there. And I glued. So then I will take this and sew it or glue it to the background. And that's what it takes to make this little journal card. That's number 1. And I have another blue one to make too. But I want, yeah, got a blue one to make, and then I need another, looks like why did I do that? This is supposed to be on, that's okay. It's supposed to be on blue. So this will be on blue. I'll put her on that one. That's okay, it can be red, white, and blue, right? Alright, so I do have some more of those to finish up. The next one is a tag. This is my favorite one. Oh, here's the Crackle edge stamp. Okay, so I've got some inks here I'm going to use. This is the tag. I have 2 different, very similar versions, but this is a different rooster stamp that I have. And it's from Stampabilities, and apparently it was on clearance. It's got a little piece of that clearance sticker there, so don't think that you'll find that in Hobby Lobby anymore. But I love that rooster. So this is what I did. I took a 3x6 manila tag, and I cut some scrapbook paper to fit on part of it, and then I took some white cardstock and used my favorite embossing folder, and it's called Tin Tile, and it's from Stampin' Up. And I cut those to the right width, and then just figured out how far I wanted each of them to go on the tag, and cut them and sewed them on. And then I stamped the rooster and painted it, and then backed it with some of this craft paper. And that's about it. So I have all of these done, except for putting in the ties. And I have these two left to finish painting. I started painting them all. When I did one color, I would do all 8 roosters with that color, and then I remembered I was supposed to be doing this on camera. So we're going to finish that up. I'll just take one that I can look at. Obviously, they all look different because they're all hand painted. This one has more red in it than this one does. And I don't know if this is the proper color for roosters. I didn't research, but the image in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, I had saved the image for this rooster, and I don't have it right handy. I was going to show it to you, but I'm not sure where it got stuck. But I just followed the colors that they used, and because I love them, they were just so bright and gorgeous, and that's what I went with. So, all right, so I'm gonna follow this one. So I already did the blue and the green, and now I'm going to, and I did yellow on one of them. So this is what I do, and I've shown you this before. I squeeze it, trying to touch the lid to the stamp pad to get some of the color on the lid. And I haven't been real successful with that. Yeah, there's no color there. So I'm just going to use the stamp pad itself. Some stamp pads do that easier. So I'm just going to tap. This is a water brush, so the bristles are wet if you squeeze the water down. So I just tap it into the ink pad. And it looks orange, but this is a yellow stamp pad. It's Pineapple Punch. So I'm just going to add some color right up here. So you can see I put blue, I think it was Pacific Point blue. These are all Stampin' Up! Inks on the tail and on the breast. And I forgot which green I used. Right here, and then a little bit more down here. And I'm coloring the beak with the yellow too, because I'm going to add other colors on top of the yellow, but I want the yellow to show through too. I just like the pop of yellow. Okay, I guess that's enough yellow. And now I'm going to use orange, and this is Tangelo Twist. That's not my scratch paper. So I'm just making sure all the color comes off of that brush, and I can use the same brush This one I think works. Yeah, that one works good with the Tangelo twist. Just squeeze some water down into that to thin it out. Because I just want to lightly go over it and let some of the yellow show through. And I'm coloring the beak. It was already done with yellow, but I went over it with orange. Oh, I want to do the feet too. And now for the real pop of color. Oops, I better do the beak here. I'm going to add some red. And I don't have a good red Stampin' Up! Color, so I just used, I am making a mess, look at me. I just used my barn door. Oops, let's get that orange off of there. So I'm going to do the comb. And the wattle. Now if you don't have the colors that you want in the ink pads, you can also, if you have water-based markers, you can scribble your markers onto something plastic, like if you have a craft sheet, or I used to use a Tupperware lid, like a freezer container lid. I think I was supposed to put some orange down here on the body. Anyway, you can scribble your marker on it and then just use a wet paintbrush. You can use a wet paintbrush for this too. You don't have to use these water brushes, but I love them because I don't have to have a cup of water sitting here on my table waiting for me to spill it. This is an old ink pad, this barn door. It's the Distress ink, not Distress Oxide, and it's not very bright anymore. I think I'm going to put a little orange down there on the body. Okay, and then all I have to do now is, I already did the brown at the ground. I used soft suede, and I already did the grass on that one. So all I have to do is find my green stamp pad. Mossy Meadow. I don't want it to be very dark. There. So that is the 8th rooster that I painted today. And then I just cut it out pretty close to the image because I didn't want it, you know, it has to fit on the tag, so it can't be very big. Plus I have to mat it with that brown craft paper. I want to be able to see the rooster. Turn him this way. I'm not telling you what kind of bundle these are going to be because you'll find out when I get them all done, which should be pretty soon. I'm not sure what day you will see this video, but maybe a day or two after you see this video, the bundles will go in my shop. have a piece right here I can use. Then I will just stick it in the center because I'm going to sew it to the craft paper. And I'm just cutting the craft paper close to the tag or the card because again it has to fit on the tag, which is 3 inches wide. And these are the remaining tags. All right, I only have, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 2 more. I have extra pieces of that. And this will be sewn also. So I take this, and again, just stick it in the center and add it to this at the bottom. And then take a piece of my embossed card and line it up at the top. Oh, this one isn't wide enough. That one's not wide enough. Why did I cut them so short? That one's better. Line it up at the top. And then just trim off the angles. And then I will take it to the machine and I will sew around this, and then I will sew around this so it's all sewn down, and then I will glue this on. And there's a hole there, and it's already reinforced. These tags were reinforced, but I want to add something to the front. So I'm going to just punch through the hole there. And I have these that are already colored blue. Just going to put a little glue on them because it has to stick to the embossed cardstock, which the Fabri-Tac will help it do that. So we have that, we have that. These are all ready to be sewn. And then the last step will be to add the fibers. And I have 3 different ones that I'm using. I had everything together so that I could do this video. I'm not sure what I did with those fibers. Oh, here they are. So they're very similar. You see, you have to look at them to realize that they're different. But I have this one and this one. I think there were 3 of them. Yep. And this one. And I got all of these in a Happy Mail. So I just cut a length of each one. Where'd the end of it go? Cut them about the same length. This one is a little bit thicker, so it has more of a difference in the look of it. I don't know why, I just like to have them just very subtly different. Probably nobody would even notice, but I do. Just loop them together Put the loop through the hole, keeping them all together, and put the ends through the loop and pull. And then trim it to whatever length you want. This tag is complete. So that's my favorite piece of ephemera that I made today. So it just has two different blues for the bottoms. You see it's a very pale gingham, and that one's much brighter. All right, that's piece number 2. The other two are a lot quicker. My glue just dripped onto my decal edge scissors. All right, this one is really quick. I used my doily die and cut out some ivory cardstock. And this is what I made. That's all I did was stamp on it with another rooster that I have. I have 3 rooster stamps. And then inked it. So that was really quick. And you can use these as a tuck spot or embellish it further and just use it on, I don't know, however you want to, as a tuck it into a pocket. See, there's a little journaling space on the back. But here's my stamp. There's my ink. Using Stays On brown ink, Timber Brown. This is a 2005 Stampin' Up! Stamp. And I think that the set that it came with, I don't have the box anymore, but I think it was a French Provincial theme stamp set. And it came with a castle, and they're very, they're not very sharp images. And sunflowers it came with, and I think some grapes. But I'm using the rooster and the sunflowers. So the last ephemera piece that I'm going to make will feature the sunflowers. Ta-da! Done. So that's number 3. And the last one, I'm using the sunflower stamp that came with this set. And I'm making just a little embellishment. So this is the finished one. So the other ones will not look like this because I broke my punch trying to punch. This is handmade paper, and it did not, I'm trying to reach around my tripod. It didn't want to, that's the punch I used, and it didn't want to punch. And so look at that, the part of the screw thing is still in there. So I don't know if I can fix it. There's a piece of the paper stuck in there, right in there. So I'll get my tweezers and try to pull that out, but I don't know if that'll help. You can see it through there too. So I made a mess of my stamp that I love, my punch that I love. So the other ones I just cut to approximately the same size and rounded the corners. I didn't have enough gold to make them all gold, so I made some blue ones. I should have another one. Well, I guess I'll have to make another. And I didn't like the craft color on the blue, so I'm using a cream color. And this is pretty quick too. Just going to ink the edges. I'm only going to do one yellow and one gold, or blue. Don't worry, I won't do them all while you're watching. I'm going to ink around this also. I think I already did the craft piece. This paper, I got a pretty thick stack of it at a flea market, and it's textured. It's almost like handmade paper, but it's smooth on this side. It's textured on this side, and it's thin. And this is the size sheet that it came in. All right, so I have my pieces ready, and I'm just going to stamp my French script on the background with my timber brown. I have my label on upside down, so if I see it like that and it says upside down, I have to turn it this way. I took it off my block, my wood block, and when I put the label back on it, I put it on upside down. Didn't want to peel it off again because I was afraid it wouldn't stick. It doesn't really matter which way I have it because I can turn this piece either way. Doesn't show up a lot on the blue, but it shows up enough to provide a little texture in the background. That glue is dripping on everything. So these were really fun to make. Fun to look at my images that I had and think about what I wanted to do with them. I wanted to have a journal card and a tag and an embellishment. And there's a tuck spot too. So now I'm going to put an eyelet. So excuse the noise. It won't last long. And just pick out an eyelet to set in there. If you have a crocodile, you can use a crocodile. I have one, but I don't like to use it for this. You can look on Amazon for eyelet setting tools to find a set like this if you like this. So this is the eyelet setter. This is the hole maker. And you can take the heads out and add different sizes in them. Okay, I'm done making noise. Now all I have to do is take this twine. This is different from what I used for the tag topper. This is a thicker twine, and I got it from the same person in a Happy Mail. So I'm just going to take a piece of that, make it long enough so it's not such a challenge to tie it. I didn't make this one long enough. I might cut that off and put a longer piece in there because I want to try making a bow. Yeah, I like the bow. you can just glue this on as an embellishment or a tiny tuck anywhere, a tiny little pocket for a tiny little tag. And that is 4 different embellishments, or ephemera pieces, I should say, for a special bundle that I'm putting together, which you will see very soon. As soon as I get this one tied, I will show you all of them together in case you forgot what we started out with. I guess I want to try it this way. Excuse my gluey and inky fingers. So we have a journal card or pocket. It's a pretty big journal card. So it could be a pocket. You could glue it on like that and have something go in the side. And we have these tags. I just love that embossing. And we have these little tuck spots. Each of them done with a different rooster stamp. 2 from Stampin' Up! And 1 from Stampabilities. And we have just an embellishment with sunflowers. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing what I created, and I hope, oh goodness, I set my sunflower stamp down in the, where the glue was leaking. It'll ruin my stamp if I don't wash it right off. I hope that you will come back to see what the mystery bundle is going to be. I'm excited about getting it in my shop. I've had the stuff for it for months. So I'm going to work on cleaning this stamp off better, and I'm going to let you go. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.